today. And so if we open up the big book to page 62, and we'll begin at the last paragraph. This is the how and why of it. First of all, we had to quit playing God. It didn't work. Next, we decided that hereafter in this drama of life, God was going to be our director. He is the principal. We are his agents. He is the father and we are his children. Most good ideas are simple, and this concept was a keystone of the new and triumphant arch through which we passed to freedom. When we sincerely took such a position, all sorts of remarkable things followed. We had a new employer. Being all powerful, he provided what we needed if we kept close to him and performed his work well. Established on such a footing, we became less and less interested in ourselves, our little plans and designs. More and more, we became interested in seeing what we could contribute to life. As we felt new power flow in, as we enjoyed peace of mind, and as we discovered we could face life successfully, as we became conscious of his presence, we began to lose our fear of today, tomorrow, or the hereafter. We were reborn. We were now at step 3. Many of us said to our Maker, as we understood him, God, I offer myself to thee, to build with me and do with me as thou wilt. Relieve me of the bondage of self, that I may better do thy will. Take away my difficulties, that victory over them may bear witness to those I would help of thy power, thy love, and thy way of life. May I do thy will always. We thought well before taking this step, making sure we were ready, that we could at last abandon ourselves utterly to him.
Great, Mickey. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, this is obviously the meat of the matter in the chapter, How It Works. So I'm just going to go over what we just read. So welcome, everyone. Happy to see people here. I'm happy to be here.
Hey, Paul, your camera's off. Your camera is off.
Camera is off. All right.
Yeah.
Choose.
Got it. Thank you.
Is it on again? Oh, great. All right. I didn't even know how that happened. All right. So this is the how and why of it. That's a pretty comprehensive statement. Yep. How and why is pretty much encompasses everything. First of all, and if you see the program of recovery as a linear progress from 1 to 12, and what sets you up for the following step is the entertaining the previous step. So there's a building thing. That's why we tend not to suggest people do their amends when they're on step 1. Yes, because maybe they're not taken by the exact spirit of what an amend may be. They may be just trying to get out of feeling bad. I did it. It happened with me. I'll give you the example, then we'll go back to the reading. I got sober, and a lot of the shit I had been seemingly successfully avoiding started to catch up to me. And my last relationship was with this woman, and I felt like through me and her association with me, I didn't feel like it was factual, that she got introduced to ways of life that I wouldn't really wish upon anybody. And there was a lot of guilt that built up over the time when I was out there, but of course I could outrun it with the drugs and alcohol. So I had a feeling, I was feeling bad and I wanted to feel better. So I found out where she was working at this place in San Francisco. And I called her, I called the work, and I asked if they would get some so-and-so, and they did. And she got on the line. And as soon as she heard my voice, she says, I never want to hear from you ever again in this life. So the amend didn't go well, so to speak. Yeah. So I had to live by that. I never got in touch with her again because that was her wish, really. And so I followed it. But it sort of blew up in my face because I hadn't been conditioned enough through the process to be actually able to do an amend. I was just looking to feel, to get relieved of the immediate guilt. Yeah, it had nothing to do with what an amend is, which is really a statement of change. Yeah. Yeah, you're saying you're willing, even though you may not be able, you're willing to change. And so I'm making this amend and always pointing out that the reason why I'm making the amend is because I'm in a program of recovery. And of course, I had none of that spirit had caught up with me yet. All right, so here, this is the how and why of it. First of all, we had to quit playing God. Now, this obviously is implying that there's an act of playing God going on. Because if there wasn't, there wouldn't be no need to say you have to quit playing God. And it doesn't say, oh, we suggest, it says you have to. You have to. It's an essential ingredient. So if you don't believe there's playing God where you are, the people that have recovered from that which is playing God is pointing out to us there's something playing God where you are. Yeah. You may call it it may be something else, but there's actually God playing quite a lot. And if you want an example, if you wake up in the morning and the head forecasts how the day is going to be, that's playing God. Because the head doesn't know what the fuck's going to happen. Yeah. But it just assumes with great surety that it's going to suck. So why not just stay in bed? Yeah. So this playing God. Now, this was tricky with me, and I'm just sharing from my experience, strength, and hope. This was tricky for me because when this was presented, the first way I reacted was I'm playing God and I have to stop playing God. That's not how that's not where I was brought to through the program. I was brought to seeing something in me is playing God. And the exact nature of that something is foreign. Its nature is foreign to my nature. What? Yeah, the exact nature of the wrong, that which is playing God, is foreign to my nature. Wow. Very cool. So then what happened is, because then it follows later, you're going to lose interest. What happens is you lose interest in that which is playing God. So that head that keeps telling you, oh, there's no point to get up, you still get up and go to work. Yeah. So now you're not listening to that which is playing God. So you're weakening it because its ability to play God, it has to have you to play God with. Yeah. And if you're the only toy in its little playground, really, yeah, no one else is going to follow the shit it's saying to you. Yeah. If it sounds like it's Paul, they're not going to do what Paul should do. They're going to do what Steve should do. Yeah. So they have their own private Idaho, their own private playing God. So got to quit playing God. To me, quitting playing God is seeing it's not you that's playing God. So you quit the playing God. It doesn't mean the playing God doesn't continue. You quit the playing God. Yeah. The playing God continues. The head is going to play God. It is. The head's going to play God, but you quit the head in a way. How does that look? You lose interest in it. Yeah. Simple. My feeling. And this is all observation. It's happened with me. Yeah. The head's telling me tons of shit all day, but most of it's not taken seriously, which really irritates the head to no end. Because the biggest threat to the head is not being relevant. Oh, when it's seen as not relevant, like if it can't block you off from the sunlight of the spirit, or it's going to obstruct every move you make to get to be a better life, it fucking flips out. Really, relevance is the killer. The lack of relevance. Yeah. So it didn't work. That's the simple answer they say. First of all, we had to quit playing God. It didn't work. So let's quit playing God. But they're still playing God, yes, because it's never been you playing God. So when you quit playing God, the playing God doesn't quit. This is the revelation. That which has defeated you is not you. That which is playing God is not you. So when you swear on 30 Bibles, I'm going to quit playing God, and the head keeps playing God, hopefully you realize the head is not you. Please, 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 please. It's going to make it so much easier, because it's like trying to herd a cat. It's not herd cats. It's not going to work. It's just not. All right. So we quit playing God. That doesn't mean the playing God quits. It keeps going because it's not you playing God. Hallelujah. Yeah. If Stanley says something to you or you say something to you, which do you take to be more important? The you that's saying it to you. Stanley, you immediately have a built-in sort of immunity because it's not you. And you're going to question what Stanley's saying, but most of the time we're not questioning what this not you in our head is saying, because it's presented as you. It's me. And why would me, mislead me? It seems like, yeah, it's here. It's willing to do the job. It says it can be a good GPS. Why not? It sounds good. It's always playing right where I am. No subscription. I don't have to pay for it. All right. And yet we see where it took us. Yeah. Okay. So God was going to be next we decided. So here, hopefully you see that which is playing God is not you. So you quit that which is playing God. And then you make this decision. Next, we decided that hereafter in this drama of life, this is obviously the third steps principle, God was going to be our director. Yeah. So maybe who was the previous director? They're implying that it wasn't God. Yeah. So but the idea of being directed is a fact. You and I are going to be directed, liking it or not. Something drives us. Yeah. Now the importance is what's driving us. Not to argue, I don't feel like I'm driven. You're fucking driven. Yeah. You're driven by hunger. You're driven by fucking whatever. You're driven all day. Yeah. When you need to go to the bathroom, you're not really casually deciding to go to the bathroom. You're driven to that bathroom. Yeah. Yeah. So you're going to be driven. So God now is going to be our director. If you have trouble with God, call it whatever. As long as it's not you, fine. Buddha, nature, the eternal spirit. Some people come up with some great acronyms, you can just use it. So God was going to be our director. He is the principal. What? So wait a minute. He is the principal and we are his agents. So this program is a program of principles. And they're basically saying, this is the principle. Yeah. Wow. All right. We are his agent. He is the father. We are his children. Most good ideas are simple. And this concept was the keystone of the new and triumphant arch through which we pass to freedom. Yeah. Now, the concept is almost like the door knocker. You're going to be that which walks in. Yeah. It's like knocking on the door with this concept, and then you walk in, and it's not a concept anymore. It's a living principle. Yeah. Many of us are living this principle right now. We passed the idea of concept a long time ago. The concept was sort of necessary, like a booster rocket, but it ain't the rocket. It drops and then you keep going. It's the grace of this power that fuels the concept of this principle. Yeah. So, and this concept was the keystone of the new and triumphant arch to which we pass to freedom. And if you ever been introduced to the old dudes that used to do the workshops, Joe and Charlie, they went over this fucking archway so many times. The keystone, what's the keystone rolling in archway? What's this and what's that? So the keystone is what all the other rocks in the archway rely on or lean on the keystone. The keystone is what gives it the name of an archway, really. So this is the importance of this principle. Yeah, not so much because of the solution, but because of the problem. We are being directed and we're living a life run on self-will, and it can hardly be a success. So this is an imperative that we switch employers. Yeah. It's an imperative for most of us. Yeah. When we sincerely took such a position, I felt I sincerely took it. I was not equipped to really anchor myself anywhere, but I was sincerely still reverberating from the recognition I was fucked. I was an avid, I was looking for a solution. Yeah. When we sincerely took such a position. So I did it. And how I first started doing is I said the first 3 steps in my own little prayer every morning. As soon as I woke up, because I had a healthy fear of, I did not want to be directed by the old employer. I did not. Yeah. I needed something else to direct me. I needed something to intervene because the old employer, it can fire me. I couldn't seem to fire it. That was the problem. Yeah, I don't want to listen to you anymore. And the listening continued. So I don't want you to be this loud, and it got louder. So it didn't seem like I was in a dilemma of powerlessness. And I seriously took a position of asking for something to come in and intervene in this situation. Yeah. And it did through the auspices of recovery, through this program, through the people in this program. Yeah, everything was used. Yeah. So I sincerely took that position, and all sorts of remarkable things followed. Now, we could have a marathon meeting of people sharing the remarkable things that followed. We could have a week-long seminar, and we would never run out of testimonials because this works. Yeah. This isn't like a mythical hypothesis. It works. It has been proven. You can stay sober a day at a time, living under the suggestions and this community of recovery. So we had a new employer, being all powerful. Wow. So now it's saying the old employer wasn't all powerful. It was only our attention to it that made it seem all powerful. When our attention or our interest is withdrawn, you see its incredible lack of power. Yeah. So we had a new employer, being all powerful. That's a good quality. Yeah, because it's going to be directing the will and life that I seem to have been directed by this lower power. He provided what we needed if we kept close. Have you felt like you have been provided what you needed? Not what you wanted, what you needed. Because a lot of the shit you needed, you didn't want, but you realized it was better than the want you were thinking you needed. Yeah. Over and over again. We get very, very comfortably and nicely redirected. Unless you don't listen, then you're going to have to get a slap probably from life. Yeah. To me, that's love, really. So we had a new employer, being all powerful. He provided what we needed. Wow. And what are there must be at least 800 requirements for me to, fulfill my role in this contract. No, there's only 2. It says here, these are the 2. He provided what we needed. Uh-oh, here it comes. Yeah, all right. Yeah, I'm waiting for the fucking big bill. Uh-oh, if we kept close to him. Wow. You can't be far from him. if they were talking closely about what this power is, when I went to Catholic school, they said it's all powerful, omnipresent, so it's always here. So you can't be far from it. You can't be close to it either. You're actually right at where it is. What? So there goes the first requirement, and perform his work well. Who's judging that? Yeah. I mean, do people, after you put up the chairs or put down the chairs at a meeting, do people review your ability? I don't like how the aisle 4 was a little off. Aisle 4 had 6 chairs and the others had 5. Basically, no. So it's going to be up to you if you think you're performing his work well, yeah, or not, because you are performing his work already right now. So he provided what we needed if we kept close to him and performed his work well. That's that. What? What a deal. You mean something that's all powerful, it says there, right there, being all powerful, is going to take care of me if I fulfill these 2 requirements. One of them's already fulfilled. So performance works well. Get off your fucking ass and do a little service or commitment or whatever. Be available to people. If you don't want to get off your ass, answer the phone. Yeah. Tell people where the closest meeting is, whatever. Yeah. It's not, you're going to have to kill your firstborn and sacrifice it to me. Yeah. And then every month I may decide you to kill your secondborn, but I'm a whimsical God. I change my mind a lot. Nope. This is the deal. Something's going to take care of you. That something's all powerful. If you perform his works well, who's going to tell you you're not? And stay close to him. You can't be far. Fantastic. We should just end the book there, literally. Oh, here we go. This is what's needed, though. So established on such a feeling. So now you sincerely took it, but now the roots are starting to happen. Yeah, you're growing into the position, and then the effects change and they go astronomical. Yeah. Established on such a footing, we become less and less interested in ourselves. That is unbelievable. Because self cannot do that. When self tries to lose interest in self, it's interest in self. But we're going to be the beneficiary of the greatest effect. There's going to be a loss of interest in the you that is defeating you. Wow. Incredible. And it doesn't say it, it goes less and less interested. So it's going to continue and actually get deeper. You're going to lose more interest in it as it go along. And then he gives you the biggest jab of the book, which is you will lose, we become less and less interested in ourselves and our little plans and designs, because when you're in self, you think every plan and design is big. Yeah. So it's amazing how it downsizes or puts into proportion these mountains that were made out of molehills. Yes, it's incredible. More and more, we became interested in seeing what we could contribute to life. As we felt new power flow in, There's new power flowing in. The joy is that you feel the new power flowing in. Yeah. As we enjoyed peace of mind. Wow. So do I have to be peaceful to enjoy peace of mind? No. Just rely on this big M mind, and part of the quality of that big M mind is peace. So you will be given the ability, which you've never lost, you just didn't see it anymore, to enjoy peace of mind, because there's peace of mind. It's not making something up. There's peace of mind. Now you have the ability to enjoy it. Yeah. It's sort of like you're inside the house doesn't mean it's not a sunny day. You're just not enjoying the sunny day because you're inside the house. So if you walk outside of the house, you immediately are enjoying the sunny day. Yeah. So peace of mind is now readily available. It's not peace of self, because there's no fucking peace in self. When self thinks it's in peace, it's worried about it won't be very quickly. It can't relax because it's nervous about what's going to happen in the next minute. Yeah. As we felt new power flow in, as we enjoyed peace of mind, as we discovered we could face life successfully. Everyone has been through that. I'll give you my little story. I was at my first AA dance, which was my last AA dance. I was on the men's side. The women were on another side. There was a dance floor. No one was dancing. There was a disco ball moving around. No, everyone was drinking Calistoga instead of beer and fucking hard liquor. We're sober, but we had to keep our hands busy, drinking like 8 Calistogas. No one's making a move. Doesn't matter what music's on. Finally, we have a little powwow on the men's side, and they they sort of tell me, Paul, you're going to be the scout. We're going to send you over there. Ask someone to dance. And there was a girl that I liked from afar, and I said, all right. And before, I wouldn't ask anyone unless I had guaranteed proof they were going to say yes. I mean, because I couldn't do a backflip well from the diving board, I didn't do it for 8 years because of what I thought people would find out. Oh, this guy sucks. Yeah. So my way of not getting rejected was not doing fucking anything. Yeah. So here I was. Okay, I walk, and it's sort of like a little minefield I'm walking across, and the disco ball's like a spotlight. I'm quite uncomfortable. I walk up to her and I say, hey, Eileen, do you want to dance? And she says, no. Oh, you would think I would have died, but I didn't. I just turned away, walked over the minefield, and I learned I could face life successfully. I could ask for what I want and not get it and still be okay. It was amazing. And this was the beginning of what I thought was taking a leap of faith, but it was just gambling. But it was constantly being shown what I thought would happen didn't happen. Yeah. And I started to get a real healthy suspicion of the veracity of thoughts, because these things that said it's going to kill you, I didn't die. So I was learning how to face life successfully in the community of AA. What an incredible community. Yeah. So as we felt new power flow in, as we enjoyed peace of mind, as we discovered we could face life successfully, as we became conscious of his presence. Now, don't you see, we are consciousness, but we are usually conscious of the presence of self. We're completely conscious. We're completely self-aware. That's making us unconscious of awareness. We're so obsessed with this mental idea, we're unconscious to the spirit. Yeah. But we are all conscious. We are all consciousness, but it's what we're conscious of that's going to dictate or determine how our life is going. And most of us are super conscious of the head, which is seemingly making us unconscious to the spirit. So we lose interest in self. Now that consciousness isn't to the head, it's going to the spirit. And the effects will be voluminous. The effects will be unbelievable. And they're just describing some of them. As we became conscious of his presence. This is based on losing interest in self. It's not like you're conscious. That's the given. You're conscious of the thoughts, or you're conscious of that which is before thought. Yeah. It's being less conscious in the thoughts about self allows you to be more conscious to the presence of the spirit. Yeah. As Jesus supposedly said, you cannot serve 2 masters at the same time. So in this moment, you're either trusting the infinite or the finite self, or leaning one way or the other. And this is the whole point of the program, is the lean to the infinite is pronounced and emphasized, and the leaning away from self is the purpose of the whole program. Yes? To lose interest in self. All right, so here. Sorry, but this is But this is fodder to riff on really well. We thought, well, okay, so as we discovered, as we became conscious of his presence, we began to lose our fear of today, tomorrow, or the hereafter. Because you lose interest, which has tons of fear about today, tomorrow, and hereafter. That's how you lose interest in the fear. You lose interest in that which is producing the fear, and it's not you. It's the idea of self. Self is producing fear through the strumming of the instrument of the emotion of fear with mental anxiety. And it's great faith in the thoughts about yesterday or tomorrow are provoking the fear that you seem to be living in now with no apparent threat. It's easily diagnosed. We offer it every meeting. Check it out for yourself. Yeah. So as we felt new, powerful, oh, this is incredible. As we discovered, we became conscious of his presence. We began to lose our fear of today, tomorrow, the hereafter. We were reborn. I mean, what more do you want? I mean, reborn is not enough. I was expecting a lot more. What? Oh yeah. We were reborn. We were now at step 3. So you start feeling the effects of that which you're going to make a decision to turn your will and life over to before you do the decision. You're feeling the effects of the program, the higher power. We were now at step 3. Many of us said to our maker. So we know that prayer. Yeah. And I used to see if it was the prayer of self, it would be, take away my difficulties so that I have that beach house in Malibu. Take away my difficulties so I get to surf every day and have beautiful babes around me. Take away my difficulties, that victory over them may bear witness to those I would help with thy power. I didn't sign up for that. But that's the agenda. It's different than a self-centered agenda. Completely different. That's why they tell you not to pray for yourself. Why? Unless it's going to be helpful to others. Why do you think they say that? To pray for the self is worshiping an idolatry. It's worshiping the golden fucking calf. Yeah. So take away my difficulties, that victory over them may bear witness to those I would help of thy power, thy love, and thy way of life. That's the whole purpose. The whole purpose is for us to become a maximum use, not to get everything what we want, but to become a maximum use to that which is using us to build something. We are a tool that something is using to build. It says it right there. Somewhere here. We thought, well, that making sense that we could at last abandon ourselves utterly to him. Now, I believe there's something before abandon, which is us, and then that something that is us abandons ourself. So we abandon the idea of self to this power, because you can't abandon you. You're going to still be there. Yeah. If I'm the car, I can never abandon the car. I abandoned a lot of cars because I wasn't the car. I was the driver. I hit the tree. I had no license. I abandoned the car. Yeah. So we're going to abandon ourself, this foreign thing, over to the power, the greater power. Yeah. And not only once, it's going to be the way we live. Yes. And perhaps it's the better way is going to be verified and you're going to live it. And it's the movement of interest and attention from finite self to the infinite. Yep. There you go. The whole thing is based on losing interest in something. Yeah. Yeah. Have you ever seen self try to become spiritual? 40 days of fast, mea culpas with a whip or something. You're not going to whip the body into becoming spiritual. It's a body. It's designed to be an action figure. That's what it is. It's not meant to be the chariot of the gods. Spirit and body are not the same condition. The body does not have a spiritual condition. The body's condition is appearing in a spiritual reality, let's say. That's how I see it. All right, so thanks. Let's open up. Incredible. The book's incredible, isn't it? Isn't it the greatest living
Oh
book?
man.
I mean, its description of us as what we're not and us as what we can be is great. Fantastic. All right.
This is the whole new design for living, isn't it?
Remember, as he's going to build with us. Yeah. We're a tool. It doesn't say he's going to build us. It's he's going to build with us. Yeah. He's going to use us, not he or whatever you want to call it. And if you take offense at being used, man, you've been used your whole freaking life at this point. Yeah. So, yeah. Oh, I'm a independent island. I'm a god of my. No, you're not. You've been driven by tons of shit. Just get the flu. You'll be driven to the pharmacy that day. Get a allergy. You're driven to the pharmacy. We're driven all freaking day. Yeah. It's what's driving us is the point. It's trying to tell us, this program's trying to inform us that something that's foreign to us has been driving us. Yeah. And this program is a way and a means for an undescribable power called grace to come into our life and change the dynamics of our life, change our life on the level of attitude and outlook and on new freedom and new happiness. Those are fundamental changes that the program is going to foster and support. Yeah. And this is progress, not perfection. We're always being worked upon, always being worked upon. We're not being worked anymore. That was the previous fucking employer. We're being worked upon. And what's going to be good for the other people is going to be good for us. It's going to be a win-win. Yeah. Yeah. So, yep. All right, Mickey.
Thanks, Paul. Does anybody have anything to say about what we've talked about this morning?
And of course you can share. What we were concerned about is having an ID meeting at like 15 minutes of a whole life. That's
Yeah.
all. Share, you can, whatever.
Anybody?
Oh, that's awesome.
We're all well.
All right, let me just emphasize the idea of playing God. You can take it or leave it. You're going to have to find your own ideas. But this is the idea that I was brought to. First, when I read this book, that sounded like another order. All right, I've got to quit playing God. Yeah. Now, I had no idea how I was doing that, really. I knew it was happening, but I didn't see where was my ownership in it. But of course, the head does. So immediately, I've got to quit playing God. Fuck. This is, you know what I mean? Or it's like someone saying, all you got to do to be okay is stop judging. That's what the head does all day is judge. Yeah. Yeah. It's like, oh, you can, I've been trying to shirk orders my whole fucking life. And especially the orders that I did not believe I could complete at all. I was afraid to even try them. So the way I first heard it was, this is an order I can't fucking do. But then when I saw by the influence of the program that I am not that which is playing God. The playing God is a mental activity where the problem resides. So basically, the problem of alcoholism, or whatever you think is the real underneath that, is using the mental activities to promote and reinforce the problem. And so that's where I saw the playing God to go. And when I saw it wasn't me, I lost interest in that whatever was playing God, and then the playing God didn't have the God-like effect. Wow. You would think if something was playing God, it would be playing God and, fulfilling its mission if I was interested in it or not. But no, it's really based on my interest, the amount of playing God it can get away with. Wow. That was interesting. So I lost interest in it because it had failed completely. I mean, if it was giving me a good advice, I'd still be taking it. But I took it for years with terrible advice. So the quit playing God is going to continue because it's not you playing God. Please, please, please entertain it. Please entertain this idea. What's going to be quit? You are going to quit. See, you quit drinking. Is drinking still going on? Millions of people are drinking, but you quit drinking. It doesn't mean it's an act, something stops. You just quit doing it. Yeah. So there's you're drinking tons of shit. You're just not drinking alcohol. So drinking continues. So this act of playing God continues, but you lose interest in it. So if you see it in the example of a GPS, maybe it tells you to turn left 50 times a day. You're now turning left like 15 times a day. And you're getting to your destinations a lot quicker with a lot less fucking wear and tear on you and the car. So you're going to be, this is a proof-based transformation. This works. So now you start seeing my not listening to the head works better than listening to the head. Yeah. So how does the head present its insane ideas? That it's me. Hey, I see clearly it's not me, and I've lost interest in it. Yeah. And now rarely do I turn left. And it's like a broken clock is at least correct twice a day because, yeah. But basically, it's actually given up the GPS aspect. It's like the Howard Cosell narrating a football game. It's completely biased, and he keeps trying to tell me everyone's out to fucking get me. Yeah. And Howard plays the color broadcaster, and it's all tinted. Yeah. So, I mean, football isn't serious to me. It's like a joke. It's fun when I listen to what it says. Oh, I'm down 30 points at halftime. And it's never going to change. You Don't come out for the second half. Let's get loaded. It doesn't, it's comedic information. It's fun in a way. So remember, that which is playing God is not you. So it does, for you to quit playing God doesn't mean it stops playing God. Yeah. This is where people get frustrated because they have a little dent in their understanding and they still believe a lot of the shit that's destroying them is them doing it. Yeah. But it isn't. Yeah. So quit playing God doesn't mean the playing God stops. It means you lose interest in the playing God, that which is playing God, because now God's playing in your life, so to speak. If you use the terminology of AA, God is now entered. And so now you're being directed by God, and you can see that which is playing God. Yes. You can hear it. Yes. Yeah. When let's say the real God shows up, the false ones are going to be shown out. Yes. Don't you see? Something can only play God when there's no seeming God around other than it. When God shows up and you're conscious of the presence of God, God has entered the room. The little dog that was masquerading as the big dog rolls over as a little dog. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. And God doesn't play around. God doesn't play like with us like a cat and a mouse. Yeah. Not like the head. The head plays us like a mouse as a cat. Yeah. Fucks with us all day, doesn't it? It says, if you do this and do that, I'm going to give you 30 minutes of reprieve. And just when you're going to enter the 30 minutes, it's like Spotify. Another advertisement comes up. You're going to get 30 minutes of free ad listening. No, another video. Yeah, it always adds on to more shit. Yeah, so. All right, that's it. Sorry.
You know, it's amazing how we can process this whole program without staying in that false identity.
Yes.
And it's only when the realization that that which is playing God is not God, and that takes process. That takes a little bit of growth to be able to surrender that false the falseness that the mental
Yes.
activity wants to keep us in.
Well, let me say something, Mickey, with that. It's without knowing it, you see. So let's say there was a new program very similar to AA that was targeting cancer. Yeah. And you would get a daily reprieve from all the symptoms of cancer if you just followed these simple suggestions. Yeah. There would be an incredible success rate in remission of cancer. Yeah. But we're dealing with a very tricky thing because the disease, if you want to call it that, resides in the mind. And the disease is telling you you don't have a disease. And we're identified with that which is talking to us as us, and it's the disease. So our success rate on statistically is terrible. Yeah. Compared to something called cancer that would have been so much higher. Yeah. Because the obstruction resides in the mind. Yeah. People wanting to get well from cancer, the obstruction to that isn't in the mind, not like it is with alcoholism and addiction. Yes. So the disease is taken to be the patient, and the patient is saying no to the cure. Isn't that the case with many of us? Many people that we know, maybe, yeah?
Sure, we continue playing doctor. We continue playing God.
What is that strong stubbornness? Yeah. Because humbly, for many of us, cancer has that threat of dying, which is the big deal. But living as a real addict and alcoholic super sucks. Yeah. Where you're hoping to die a lot of the time. Yeah. And so you would think, people afraid of dying seems to promote they'll do almost anything, like take shit that's not even good for them just to get relief. This is a much more simple medication recovery. It is. Yet the resistance, it has a bulkhead in the act of being identified. Yeah. We're identified with that which we want to see defeated. We're identified with it. Yeah. So we're actually acting as a shield. Yeah. Protecting it. It's incredible. I really believe it's taken us over like a demonic possession. And it's of a foreign nature, yet it has us convinced we're it. Yeah. And that's why statistically the success rates are so fucking terrible because of this quality. Yeah. Because people recognize shit much easier if it appears on your skin. They can't see the most influential shit because it's not appearing as an elbow or as a bug. Yes. It's on. So obviously we honor the body. we live as if the body is the only thing. This is why, remember, we shared it the other day with in the wars, they used to ridicule people that got affected by all those explosions and stuff, like shell shock and shit like that. They were fucking ridiculed. Now, if they would have lost their leg, they would have been heroes. But because the damage wasn't shown on the outside, the body, there was no damage. This is the insanity. Yes? We're completely fucked up in our own private Idahos. People are flipping out and they just had a fucking fresh juice made out of their own juicer and they didn't have to even make it. Someone's working there and made it for them. And they're completely flipped out. Yeah. It's not their elbow. It's not arthritis. It's the head. Yeah. I think completely the head is the most influential thing fucking here. Yeah. It can override your fucking financial condition, your physical condition. You can be working out in the gym 6 hours a day and be completely flipped out about when all your muscles are going to sag when you get older. Yeah. It's insane. There is a solution. Yeah. There is a solution. It's beyond the mental. The spirit does not have a malady. Spirit doesn't have a malady. It's a mental malady. And this program will diminish the mental condition. And then the obviousness of the spiritual condition, we will start to become conscious of. Yeah. And we will see the before as the greatest influence on that which comes after. And it ain't the head and it ain't the body. Yeah. I've seen some ripped, shredded, 8-pack abs on fucking drunks and fucking steroid fucking addicts. Yes? Yes, yes. This is what it says. You take care of this, and then the other shit will be taken care of. Said it in the Bible, and they say it in recovery. Yes? Take care of this condition, and the other shit will follow. We're trying to, it's great to go to the gym, but it's not going to replace or take the place of the spiritual condition. Yeah. A better physical condition is not an immunity to the mental takeover. Yeah. It will take over an Adonis just like a hobo. But I look great. Yeah. Mental. Problem resides there. It's blown up like a fucking tumor. Obsession with self. Yeah. We need to. This is like if you had a bomb, like a BALM, and you put it on morning, night. You apply these principles, and that tumor shrinks. Yes. And then when the tumor shrinks, you can see what the tumor was blocking. Yeah. You weren't looking from the tumor. You were getting blocked by the tumor. The tumor shrinks. Now you see. That's the conscious presence of spirit. Yeah. Be clear about if you're fucked. If you don't believe you're fucked, then go for it. Yeah. But if you're fucked, admit it. Yeah. And admit that something has managed your life and it hasn't done well with it. And make a decision to turn your will and life over to the care of something that's greater than that thing that has ruined your life. Yeah. And just join us. You'll get all the support in the world. Yeah. I have never seen anyone that wanted to return their sobriety. I haven't. Yeah. 30-something years. Oh, I want to return this. No, I'm not there. I'm not going to the return window. Oh, I have this huge thing of what I'm missing. Yeah, like being at 7-Eleven at 5:59 in the morning going through pennies to see if I could get a fucking pint of Royal Gate vodka, which is exactly the same Smirnoff vodka with a different label on the West Coast. Same fucking jet fuel. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I miss all that. Sure. I miss like losing one shoe, walking around with one fucking shoe. Don't know where the other shoe went, as if it ran away from me. Yeah. Fuck. It's, yeah. Yeah. So, hey, this thing works. That's the beauty of it. There is a solution and it works. Yeah. Argue as we may, there is a solution and it works. If you don't want it, it's fine. This isn't a draft. We're not, oh, you're being drafted. No, fucking, I'm not going to do someone a disservice by trying to keep them from their bottom. If you want to go out, go out. I hope you come back and tell us how successful it was. Literally. You know, you may not be a real addict or alcoholic, but that line could be in the future. And if you cross it, you're in a different ball game. Heavy user can stop if it has a sufficient enough reason. That's gone when you cross that line. No reason is sufficient enough. You've lost all vestiges of power over your life. Just be clear about the diagnosis. Play with fire when you still feel like you can play with fire. But if you're in fucking fire, you better stop playing with fire. Yeah. So this is the message. We're here to support every week, and we'll keep going here unless something happens. Yeah. I'm a believer in this solution, and I'm a believer in the way it has expressed itself, and that's through the form of recovery. There's other ways, I'm sure, but this is the way that was found for me, and this is the way I can speak from. Yeah? So there you go. And we're here. I mean, yeah.
Well, and it starts out as identification of the problem being the substance other than the truth of the causes and conditions. The identification of rather the focus being on alcohol, the focus being on the identity of self.
Yes, of course. But in this case, again, this is where we're living in the world of things. We take things to be the most important. Yes?
Right.
If you don't have a flu, you got to come into work. You may have had a fucking an emotional traumatic event that night, but if there's no scars or bruises, come fucking in. Yes? There's very little recognition of really the big moving and big shaker, which is happening in the head or in this world of thinglessness. Yeah. Yeah. They recognized it. That's why they said it's a spiritual solution. Usually spirit doesn't seem to be embodied, right? They knew it wasn't going to be an embodied solution. They did. So they were looking for a spiritual solution. Yeah. And because there isn't a body and there isn't something 6'2", you can have that spirit any way you want it. You can have a spirit of your own understanding, which will change quickly in the program because you're going to be brought into conscious presence of that spirit. It went with me very quickly. I realized, I'm turning my will and life over to higher power of its own understanding. I don't want to have a higher power of my own understanding. I want to have a higher power of its own understanding. And that happened very quickly, and it's been that way now for 30-something years. Yeah, that's how I see it. I haven't unseen it that way. Yeah, it was a short term of having a higher power of your own understanding. It's not meant to be long term. Yeah, because while you're under the influence, you observe the effects. Yes. And you come to realize that your understanding is very myopic. And how do you want that panoramic view to sort of downsize into fit a myopic view. I'd rather surrender the myopic view to the panoramic view. Yeah? Yeah. All right, well, it's time to go. I have an appointment that I have to keep.
Thank you so very much, Paul.
Yeah, it's more than, I am so stoked. I'm so stoked about it because you have your own intimate sense of dread and demoralization, man. Surrender that. That can be a fuel of recovery, not a fuel to create fear, but a fuel of recovery. Yeah. Yeah. Nobody knows what a bottom was like other than the bottom you were in. Fucking pray from there. All right. I got to get going. Kerry, always a pleasure. And with your significant other, fantastic. Michael, always. Thank you so much, Michael. Mickey, fantastic today. John, nice to see you, John. Axelman, there he is. We got Jules on vocals. We got other people I can't see right now. We got Joseph in France, John K, Jay, Walter, Miss Volkman, Chris, Blake, Ben, Annette, Roe from Toronto, Karen, Ray, Heather, a magician, resident magician. Let me see if what else is going on. All right, we got Lucia, we got a phone number, we got Mike M, Annette, Jay. I love those books, Jay. I just haven't done much with them yet, but I appreciate it. It's a joy to try to express shit. It's great. Gail K. Hey, out my Pink Cloud resident. Nice, very good. Roman Mueller, Karen Ray, Terry from Camarillo, Darren. Nice to see you, Darren. Hey, thank you so much, everyone. Remember that tradition, a loving something is expressing itself through our group conscience. Wow. See ya. Bye-bye.